My cheating fiancé claiming that platonic cuddling it's not a cheating, so I threw her on the curb. This is a bit of a little long-winded story, but I need to get my thoughts out because since I found out on January 7th my mood swings from sadness to anger every day. I, 29M, had been dating my ex, 24F, for nearly 2 years before things had started getting wonky. She was my best friend and my anchor that kept me grounded through what was definitely a massively difficult year. I had been working a lot and making some higher-risk investments that paid off, but the end goal was to get close to a down payment for a house because I was hoping to propose around the 2-year mark this year. In November I noticed she had started getting texts from some guy who I had never heard of before from her gym. I let her know it made me feel off, because it's a boundary I have where I do not get girls' phone numbers from my gym, because I don't want the temptation when I am monogamous. She tells me she feels weird about my jealousy, but I don't want to let my jealousy ruin what we have since she's always been open with me and my trust hadn't been broken. Thanksgiving comes and goes and it's nice, she was up with my family for a few days then a few with hers. During this time another guy, who I'll call Jay, starts texting her. Again my alarms are going off, but I don't want to be controlling. In December she's always texting him, and one evening when I'm helping my family, she goes out with her friends from the gym and this guy. He spends the night at her house, which she tells me about, but says he stays on the couch, and he was too drunk to drive. I express concern about wanting to meet her friends following this because I'd want to know who I'm dealing with here. She gives me some BS excuse about how she'll let me know if she goes out the following weekend with her friends because her mom's coming up but she'll let me know. The evening comes around and she goes MIA and ghosts me for the evening. The next day I'm pissed, and we have a huge argument where nothing's resolved but Christmas is in a week and I'm expected to go. Christmas rolls around and it's nice to spend it with her and her family. Her whole family keeps asking when I'm going to propose and all that, and I do my best to keep a smile and not let them know I'm really struggling with this Jay situation. However, my ex is texting him the whole trip constantly. Following Christmas I really wondered how New Year will play out, but everyone at Christmas caught COVID, but me, because I had it previously. So my ex had to quarantine in her apartment through New Year's, and I spent it alone. Following New Year's we had planned a weekend together, with a nice Friday evening, and some activities Saturday. However, as suspected she did not want me to spend Saturday with her as she had to catch up on work and encouraged me to spend it with a friend. I spend Saturday with my buddy and I had a good time. However, in the morning when I'm going to see my ex, she tells me she has food poisoning and had been throwing up. Frankly, she was hungover and I could see it on her face immediately. I gave her 4 chances over 3 days to confess to me, but one morning when she went to the gym, I snooped through her iPad. She had gone to Jay's house, gotten blackout drunk, and they slept in bed together and cuddled. They were planning another drinking night and the prior texts were flirty but not sexual. I take photos of the texts, so I cannot be gaslight and break up with her later that day. Unfortunately, after many missed calls I talked to her the following day, we have sex, and she makes a point to say they never had sex, and she'd never cheat. For a month we try to reconcile, but she wouldn't give up Jay. Even when I expressed I don't think I can get over this incident, so we break up. A month later, I receive a handwritten letter about how she always knew I was the one she loved and she never cheated. I was really mean the last month we were trying to work things out. I was upset so I'll take the blame, and not to let myself think everyone's out to get me. I'm just upset at this point. I don't think she knows I saved her and Jay's texts, but it's like still after the fact I'm being gaslight. I sent Jay a really awful FU text to let him know I think he's crap, and I've received texts from her family saying they'll miss me, and I am always welcome back. I feel like my whole life's been turned upside down through what she claims was platonic cuddling, which is ridiculous, and the fact the letter makes me doubt myself bugs me more. Also, after I told her I couldn't get over the Jay affair, and essentially break up, about a week later I make a dating profile, and one of her friends sees this, tells her, and then my ex now has some sort of evidence that makes me look like the cheater for her family. I played myself. If you've made it this far in the story I appreciate it, but I feel crazy. I've never had a relationship implode like this before, and although I'm confident in dating I feel like I cannot trust anyone. So if any of you can provide any sort of frame for how I can view this, and perhaps get a grip on reality, I'd appreciate it. Or let me know I'm crazy and I can move on from there. My fiancée cheated with her friends and random guy before our wedding. My fiancée, 28F, and I, 28M, met in college in 2012 and started dating in 2013. We fell in love quickly, traveled the world together after graduation, adopted a dog, went to graduate school, and gradually built a life with one another. We have shared an apartment since 2017. We commingle our finances, and we fall under the same health insurance policy. Our life has been mostly perfect. We have relished in simply joys together. Walking our dog, cooking and eating and drinking wine, laughing, being intimate with one another. Our life together had been a no-brainer for 9 straight years. I proposed to my fiancée in late 2020. I bought a beautiful ring, and we quickly got swept up into wedding planning. We booked a picturesque venue with top-shelf vendors, all on my dime, and sent out save the dates for our wedding in November 2022. The guest list was a little over 150 people, spanning both sides of the family, as well as friends from college and grad school. At the end of 2021, my fiancée, received some upsetting news from one of her best childhood friends, Friend. Friend told fiancée that she was divorcing from her husband. Friend had been having an affair with a fitness instructor and was feeling lost. Fiancée began to spend more time with Friend, talking to her on the phone, texting her, and generally trying to be a soundboard for what Friend was going through. We live in different cities from Friend, so Friend and fiancée weren't ever hanging out in person. Friend's behavior started to grow erratic very quickly. Friend began partying and drinking heavily, making out with random guys at bars, and basically losing touch with any semblance of her previous life. Fiancée was concerned and offered to spend a weekend with Friend. I was very stern with fiancée that I did not trust Friend, and that Friend would try to get fiancée wrapped up in her downward spiral. Fiancée and I never had any trust issues, so fiancée traveled out of town to spend a 2-day weekend with Friend. That was in February. After her weekend trip, fiancée explained that it was a pretty casual weekend. They got drinks, had brunch, and just had girl time with one another. I thought nothing of it. Fiancée and I went out for dinner the night she got back, and, afterwards, we had great sex with one another. We stared at each other and confessed how lucky we were that we would never be in Friend's situation. As we continued to hear updates about Friend's explosive life, fiancée and I had ongoing conversations about trust, and how we would always tell one another in the event that something like that happened to us. Over the course of many conversations, fiancée reassured me that nothing like that had ever happened or would ever happen. She loved me and our picturesque life too much. Things got weird. Friend's life spiraled out of control even further. Friend had been having affairs with multiple men, and fiancée was seemingly the only person that Friend would communicate to. I cautioned fiancée repeatedly to keep her distance, and fiancée gradually stopped texting and returning calls from Friend. But things still felt weird. Something just didn't feel right. I went through fiancée's iPad yesterday and read through texts between 1. Friend's husband and 2. Friend. First, Friend's husband sent fiancée a message that said almost verbatim, "You are a piece of crap, and you need to tell OP what happened. Duck you." Second, I mustered up the courage to look at fiancée's text messages with Friend. Here are the basics. During the weekend trip with Friend, fiancée was involved in closeness with Friend and a random bartender in the back of a storage room. Here are some of the text exchanges between fiancée and Friend. Friend, last night was so spontaneous and fun. Fiancée, we will take this secret to the grave. Friend, oh 100% ha ha ha. Secrets are fun. Fiancée, I took a plan B this morning because I'm paranoid haha. Friend, LOL, I don't blame you, I probably would have too. Fiancée, I don't feel bad about anything except for letting him have sex with me for like a minute LOL. I confronted my fiancée about it yesterday, in the heat of the moment, right when she got home from work. I asked her to take her ring off. She cried hysterically and said that I was taking things out of context. I told her that I had the texts and she sobbed. I got angry. I yelled. I felt numb and I didn't even feel like crying. And that's kind of it. I drove back home at 6 a.m. this morning to be with family. I told her that the wedding is cancelled and she needs to start taking inventory around the apartment to move out. I'm hurt. I'm not even really sad. I am just utterly defeated. I am prepared to move on completely without her and try to pick up the remaining pieces of my life. Fiancee has begged repeatedly, saying that she was drunk, that she was wrapped up and manipulated by friends' dangerous lifestyle, and that a moment of poor decision-making does not affect how she feels about me. She understands that I am going to leave, and that the wedding should be called off, but she is begging me to do anything it takes to get back on track. She wants us to pursue therapy to see if we can regain any semblance of our relationship. I'm mostly undeterred. She can get the duck out of my life. Update, 11 p.m. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate all of your feedback. As of writing this update, there are over 350 comments, so I'm still making my way through reading most of them. I am not going to respond to everyone individually, so I just wanted to provide a few general notes/updates. I spent hours talking to my family. They made me dinner and I explained the whole story, except for the Plan B part. That detail stays with me. I also reached out a few of my closest friends, that is, to be groomsmen. The only time I cried today was when they answered the phone and got to tell them thank you, and that I appreciated their friendship and that I love them. I neglected a lot friendships over the past 10 years to build my life with my fiancé. And still, my friends answered the phone when I needed them most. I wasn't expecting that. Goddamn, it's making me cry right now. If there is any reason for tears, it's because I'm grateful that people care about me. I feel alone, but I also feel loved. I didn't realize just how much I took these people for granted. I forgot to mention in my original post that, on my request, my fiancé, now renamed to be ex-fiancé, went to a local clinic this morning for an STD test. Results pending within the next 1 to 3 days. I recognize that I should probably get one myself, but I'm going to wait to see her results. I don't feel the need to inconvenience myself until I have an indication otherwise. I have spoken with my to-be ex-fiancé multiple times throughout the day. We have talked on the phone for at least an hour today, most of which is just silence and sobbing. While this might sound crazy to believe, I still care deeply about her well-being. In many ways, I still love her. I will forever cherish the life we created together and the man she helped me become. I am a better person because of her. But I can't spend my life with her. I love my fiancée as a person, but I can never love her in a relationship ever again. I've set a hard boundary, regardless of whether she recognizes just how concrete that boundary is. To respond some of the commenters below, my to-be ex-fiancée is not a bad person. She doesn't need to be called names. She is, in fact, a good person. However, no matter how good of a person she may be, she committed an act that is irreconcilably bad. My to-be ex-fiancée has been in an empty apartment with only our dog. She is alone. She has spoken to no one but her maid of honor since all of this started yesterday. She hasn't spoken to anyone in her family nor any of her other friends. It is not my place to tell them. I also don't care if she tells them the truth. I know the truth, and my loved ones know the truth. That's all I care about. Also, I feel bad that she is alone. I don't want her to suffer through this in silence. During our phone conversations today, I emphasized extensively that she should surround herself with friends and family. She just sobs and tells me that she is ashamed and doesn't want to be seen or heard. I hate seeing her like this, and it hurts me. She brought this on herself, though. In a moment of pure venom, I copy/pasted some of the hardest-hitting comments below and texted them to be ex-fiancé. I took a nice collection of probably 8 to 10 comments and sent them to her with an introductory text that said something like, "I posted about you on Reddit today, and here is what people think about you. Sit with this." Was that inadvisable? Sure. I don't care though. I wanted to hurt her feelings. Update. Since I found out my fiancée slept with a random bartender, I have been wondering what the duck was going through her head. We were faithfully together for over 9 years, engaged, with a wedding in just 9 months when she made the decision to cheat on me and have unprotected sex with a random guy. As ducked up and toxic as it sounds, I wanted to see if I could do the same to get a taste of how she felt. I now have even more going through my head than I expected. Feeling confident. There is no doubt that I feel more confident after having sex with someone new. It is my first new sexual partner since 2012. She said my name, said I was hot, grabbed me and touched me in ways that made me feel wanted and sexy and desired. It felt nice. No doubt my fiancé felt the same level of lust and attraction that I felt. Feeling guilty, my ex-fiancé has spent the past week begging me over phone calls and text messages to come back to her. I feel weird about all of it now. I feel like I have my own secret, my own toxic ammunition to hurt her like she hurt me. Duck, that sounds so ducked up. That said, I have tempered my guilt by convincing myself that she and I were already broken up and that I don't owe her anything. Still, I woke up this morning thinking, is this my life now? Am I going to jump from girl to girl hoping to find what I had with my fiancé? I didn't want this. Was it too fast? I found out about my partner's infidelity about a week and a half ago. Did I rush into this sexual relationship with almost zero forethought? Well, yes, 100%. It was certainly a poor decision on my part, as I've barely scratched the surface of my own healing process. On the other hand, I woke up with a few new feelings this morning. 1. The mental/visual imagery of my ex-fiancé ducking a stranger has diminished significantly. Those thoughts occupied pretty much all of my headspace recently, and today, I feel okay. Those mental images of her have now been replaced with mental images of me with someone else. I don't feel nearly the same panic attack type symptoms when I start thinking about my fiancé's infidelity. 2. I feel a strange level of forgiveness for my ex-fiancé. After having sex with someone new, I found it to be mostly unfulfilling. I have a strong suspicion that my ex-fiancé feels the same about her experience, that there is no one that can make her feel like I make her feel. She has spent the past week and a half in a state of loneliness and disarray, while I've been courting someone else. I feel weird. I feel sorry for her in a way. Overall though, I didn't ask to be in this situation. I shouldn't have ever been in the position where I felt the need to experiment with someone else. 3. I feel weird about my relationship with this new woman. I don't want to think of her as being a pawn in my own ducked-up reality, but that's kinda the way it seems. I mean, we were both consenting and attracted to one another, I just feel dishonest. I don't want to hurt her feelings. She didn't do anything wrong, and it isn't fair to get her wrapped up emotionally in any of this mess. Should I tell the fiancé? That's my big question here. My ex-fiancé and I haven't blocked each other. We had a brief in-person post-mortem of our relationship, and we have still called and texted occasionally, mostly to figure out plans/logistics about how to handle our belongings and wedding cancellations. I do feel a level of evenness though. Like our sexual relationships somehow cancel each other out. In any case, if I tell her, it wouldn't be with the hopes of hurting her feelings. It would be part of a conversation of reconciliation. Conclusion: I completely recognize that this whole situation is ducked. I seem ducked up. My ex-fiancé seems ducked up. And that's the thing that is most challenging. We're good people. We were happy, down-to-earth professionals with graduate degrees. I didn't go out partying and drinking and texting other women. My fiancé didn't either. We were reserved homebodies that wanted a peaceful, uneventful life. Now, we're moving toward a pissing match, sleeping with other people. What is going on? This isn't the ducking path I thought I was going to travel down. I understand that this cannot be the foundation of a healthy relationship. I understand that many of you will tell me to move on and stay away forever. However, I feel conflicted. Cheating ex-wife wants her wedding band back. My wife of 26 years cheated on me with an old flame. She was not unhappy with our marriage. She just thought that she would be happier with her AP who she had wanted to be with years ago, but circumstances, he was married with young children at the time, kept him from leaving his family back before she even knew me. When she left me, she kept the engagement ring, the 25-year anniversary ring I gave her while she was having the affair, and all of the other jewelry that I had given her over the years. She also kept some expensive Hermes scarves I gave her for our 24th anniversary, and for her birthday while she was also actively cheating. When she left, as I noted, she left behind the wedding band, but kept everything else. When I saw her at Christmas with our adult children 6 months after she left, she was still wearing the engagement ring, the 25th anniversary ring, and everything else I mentioned. 6 months after that, she asked me if I would send her the wedding band, at which time I told her no. I was still angry about the fact that not only did she have the affair, she took the other gifts while she was cheating, and to this day, denies that she was cheating during both anniversaries, even when I have proof from photos she accidentally left on one of my thumb drives. My reason for keep thing ring was that she crap on our marriage and doesn't deserve to keep the ring. Plus, she accepted very nice gifts for our anniversaries while she was cheating and clearly has no intention of giving those back to me or to our daughters. I know that if I give the wedding band to her, she won't sell it. She will just keep it in a drawer. Maybe she will wear it, which is weird, but then again she continued wearing her anniversary ring after she left me and was living with her AP. Note that the ring is not very valuable. It is just a simple gold wedding band, no stone, that is in the engagement ring which she has. It is 2 years later now, and I am wondering if I should return the ring. I will never use it. My children don't want it. I know that it is very much like me to just let things go as I move on with my life. So the only reason to keep it is to keep her from having it, because I really do think that she doesn't deserve to have it as a keepsake from our many happy years together. On the other hand, I actually don't really care, so now I think I am being petty. What do you all think, and why? P.S. If I give her back the ring, I might just give you both her wedding band and mine. She seems to care more about having them than I do. I have since moved on and have a wonderful new partner.